The Philadelphia Eagles are Super Bowl champions. Eagles fans everywhere, this is for you.
And Phil.
What's up, guys? Dutchie clocking in here. As always, God bless. Go first.
Let the celebration begin.
You are now listening to the 302 Birds Eagles postgame show with Jack and Dalt. Proudly powered by TickPick, the official fan experience partner of the Philadelphia Eagles. Now, let's take it to the
Ending the season, the Philadelphia Eagles tie for their best all-time franchise record. And what do the New York Giants do? They set a record for their all-time losses in franchise history. It's amazing when you look at it, guys, the way that this cookie is crumbled, because the Eagles got the ultimate side of the wishbone and the Giants got the negative side of the wishbone. That's it. Calling it a wrap, putting a bow on the regular season. Jack Dordan, it was a great one. 13-4. And as all Eagles fans know, 13 is a lucky number for this team, Super Bowl-wise.
Yeah, no, it was great game watching the backups take names and beat the shit out of the Cowboys, the Giants. This is one of the best seasons I've experienced so far. And it's nice to see these guys, make to the postseason. All our stars rested up. So I think we're ready to come in and take some names, kick some ass. 14-3, Dalton, by the way, not 13-3.
Sorry, 14-3.
Yeah.
Catan, gentlemen, Catan. That's what I wanted to say. And I think that's what Jack wanted to say. Kicking ass and taking names. And this team has done it all year. Real quick before we get into our guest who's going to be joining us all show, not really a guest, a podcast member, but a guest as far as the Eagles postgame goes. I want to thank everybody who has rocked out with us all year on this Eagles postgame show. We decided to add these postgames in the beginning of 2024, and it has been a complete success and an absolute pleasure doing them for you. As you guys know, Shardy, Brendan, Fratty sometimes helps out on the Phillies front. Ballpark sometimes joins in when he can. Myself as well, KJ too. And then the Eagles postgame show, Jack and I have been doing with KJ and Dennis getting to roll out a Sixers postgame show here in the spring. So these postgame shows have been an absolute pleasure. If you haven't, drop a like, drop a subscription, all that good shit. But enough of the advertising. Let's get into the meat and bones of the game and bring out the big guns for you guys. Mac, how you doing?
Doing pretty good. We got the win, even though some people are happy that we won. Some people are like, "What the heck? Why did we win?" But a win's a win. So it was a good showing for Tanner McKee, and got some bench players going. Anaya Smith got a catch, his first touchdown reception, and it was cool to see Jenkins get a touchdown reception as well. So, getting those young bucks in, it was a good game to see the Giants just fall and crumble. It was good. Good to see that.
It was beautiful. There's nothing quite like it. Jack, why don't you go ahead, or KJ, I'll let you take it first. Jack, you after. McKee lit it up, like you said, an extremely efficient game, 269 yards through the air, a 65.9 passer rating. Are you under the mantra or feeling that he should be the QB2 for this team over Pickett, or how do you feel about all of it?
I think he could be a QB2 anywhere. I think he can't be a starting quarterback, but he could be a QB2 somewhere else. If not here, then somewhere else, I think for sure. I think Pickett also, the defense that was being shown by the Giants, they were playing some kind of zone coverage. So a lot of times you would see Jahan Dotson, you would see Anaya Smith, you would see Johnny Wilson getting in space and making space for themselves. So it kind of just seemed like that was what the game was. And it was really because the Giants defense was playing like this kind of like stature kind of defense where they play in this zone defense where they're kind of not pressing up on them. So I kind of felt like even though Tanner McKee did beat some kind of record for the season for like, and I think it was like an Eagles quarterback for the most passing yards, I wasn't so impressed with that kind of stat because they were playing zone coverage. And it seemed like the Giants were playing lackadaisious defense as they should. I mean, their season's over. I mean, they're just trash. And that's just how it is. So I think McKee has kind of put his statement in for sure. He's a taller quarterback. He's got a lot of intangibles to his game. And I think that actually is a good, I guess you could say, pedigree for other teams to watch him and want to have him on their in their QB rotation. So maybe he could be the QB2 if they do move on from Kenny Pickett. I don't know. I feel like Kenny Pickett wants to stay here. I mean, it's his childhood dream to be the Eagles quarterback, maybe even the backup quarterback. So I feel like that kind of ties in a little bit as well. But we'll just have to wait and see. And I think we just got to take every point step by step. We got to take every step by the step. That's what
Don't you feel like he's more confident though, Jack? How do you feel? I feel like when McKee's out there, he's way more confident.
Yeah, no, I actually, it's funny you say that because when me and Josh were watching the game, I was like, it just seems like Tanner McKee is more confident out there than Kenny Pickett, which blows my mind because Kenny Pickett was a starter, for a full season, maybe half a season, whatever you call it, the Steelers. But yeah, it just seems that, this definitely puts a question mark out there, like who's going to be QB2. Because, I mean, Tanner McKee played great. I mean, Kenny Pickett, when we needed him, played pretty well past 2 weeks, or not like last week and the week before that. But yeah, I mean, Tanner McKee is definitely, I would say, a better and more confident quarterback than Kenny Pickett. And he just, again, like Shardy said, he's had 0 turnovers right now. And Pickett has 1. So yeah, I mean, Tanner McKee played really well, 27-41, which that's a lot of passing. I'm surprised we threw it that much for 269 yards and 2 touchdowns. So, yeah, I mean, Tanner McKee is definitely coming into his own. And I think we're going to see either Kenny Pickett get traded or Tanner McKee get traded. I think for best value, I think Tanner McKee would probably be the best bet to trade away. I don't want us to. But if we want some more filler spots, I think Tanner McKee's going to be the best one to trade away.
He looked solid out there. And I'm just saying, Nick Foles 2.0? No, I'm kidding.
No.
The one thing I will say is he does remind me with the height and the confidence. You see the way that he sees over that offensive line, and it's like, damn, he's a big boy for QB. So I think that the Eagles are in really good hands with both their backup QBs. They almost have the backup QB dilemma now, right? Not the QB dilemma. Let's be clear about that, Philly. The backup QB dilemma, which it's like, who do we start here? Both these guys are playing at such a high level. We don't know what to do. Speaking of somebody else that played at a high level today, Jahan Dotson stepped up big time. I mean, I'll let the Penn State guy take it first. He met him.
Yeah, I did meet Jahan Dotson. He was a great guy when I met him. And I'll tell you this, as I was saying before, the Giants were playing like this zone kind of defense. So they were kind of spacing it out a lot. So it kind of opened the lanes for Jahan Dotson. He was able to make some extra space, and I think that was able to get him open a lot. And I think with Jahan, too, you saw him as a punt returner as well, which was pretty interesting to see that. Unfortunately, and I don't know about you guys, though, I feel like with Jahan Dotson, it's unfortunate with him this year because he never got a touchdown with the Eagles. And that just – if you told me that was going to happen and you predicted that, I would not believe that. I would have thought he would at least get 1 touchdown this season. He didn't have a single touchdown this season, and that's just kind of sad, to be honest, because I think he could have, but they just didn't go. They didn't go to him a lot, and that kind of sucks. And I feel like that's kind of just him trying to work with the playbook and trying to, and it shows that he doesn't really mesh with the playbook, which sucks. But I mean, it's unfortunate. But yeah, it was good to see him get involved today. I wish he would have got a touchdown. That would have been really awesome. Because a guy like Anais Smith, I feel like Jahan Dotson deserves a touchdown more than he does, or that guy Jenkins as well. I feel like Jahan deserves more of a touchdown than they do, but unfortunately, he didn't get that kind of stardom today. I mean, he didn't get the touchdown stardom.
Sometimes you're not going to get the love in the spotlight. I hear you, Jack.
Yeah, I mean, he played pretty well today. I mean, this is what we kind of expected him to do throughout the whole season. But again, Jalen Hurts really did not throw the ball to Jahan Dotson. And yeah, I mean, today he had 7 receptions for 94 yards. That's pretty good. I mean, I wish he got a touchdown, but at the same time, it's like, okay, well, I think we have him for next season. I think that's what's happening. But yeah, we shall see. You know what he can do for us. I wish, like KJ said, I wish he had a touchdown. But you know, he's still our wide receiver 3 right now, I would say. So he still has a chance to score a touchdown for the Eagles. So we'll see. I mean, great win, great statement win. I mean, for these backups to really step up. And I know we didn't really talk about it much, and we'll probably get into it, but the offensive line played really well today. So that was promising to see us, you know, have a really good secondary O-line playing pretty well.
And some of the young bucks also benefiting off of that. Anais Smith, and as you mentioned before the show, your boy EJ Jenkins getting in the end zone. That's a fun name to say.
Yeah, I mean, the Young Bucks definitely showed out for us today. I mean, we had two rookie receivers score touchdown today in EJ Jenkins and Anais Smith. So that just gives me some promising benefits for this team and how we, you know, really can show. I mean, that we're deep at receiver right now. I mean, not totally deep, but more confident to have the receivers we had. I mean, we had John Dotson, 94 yards. We had Dallas Goedert. He played a little bit, 55 yards. Anais Smith, 4 receptions for 35 and a touchdown. So, yeah, it's just really good seeing these young bucks, you know, give it their all to this team, especially in the game it didn't really matter. But this is, you know, padding their stats. This really shows them, okay, well, I can play in the big leagues. Yes, I'm a rookie, but yeah, I'm all confident in these young bucks for sure. And even Will Shipley played really well today.
Yeah, it was good to see Shipley back out there with what he was dealing with, concussion protocol. Jesus Christ, we're having a hat war on the fucking Eagles post-game show today. I love it. Notre Dame and Penn State gearing up.
Going down.
How did you feel to see some of these young bucks score? I mean, I was in the car, unfortunately, still dealing with tire trouble on my way to your house, KJ. But Anais Smith, how was his touchdown? I didn't get to see it.
It was a nice dot. It was a really nice dot by Tanner McKee. I mean, he put the thread through the needle with that throw. It was a fluid motion of a throw, and it was really nice by Anais Smith to get in the end zone. I know he hasn't really got too much, I guess you could say, playing time this season. So I think for him to get a touchdown, I think that was a big moment in his career, especially his first career touchdown. I think that was just awesome to see. But it was a great play. It was a great play for sure.
Yeah, seeing some of these young guys start to get that confidence, you never know when your name is going to be called, especially in the playoffs. So getting some of these guys in the end zone, I know KJ also mentioned it would have been nice to see Dotson get some of that love earlier in the year, but it's good to get them that confidence too, because it's one thing to sit there and be that guy like Saquon Barkley and say, hey, it's good for the ball to go around and this and that and all these things and be this team player, right? It's one thing to be that guy. It's another thing to actually be that guy and then not have any results and still be able to have a smile on your face. That takes a certain level of maturity to be able to wait your turn. So we'll see. Broad, if you want to call in here, man, shoot me a message. I got to get your cell phone number. But if you want to come on here, shoot me a message on Instagram right now. I'm logging into the 302 Birds account. I'd love to hear your perspective. It was cold as hell today at the game, and this man was out there doing some interviews for what he loves. So give him a follow on YouTube if you guys haven't. Broad Street Sports, our boy. We collab with him a ton. I would love to hear what that atmosphere was like today, because I could imagine a lot of people were cheering for Tanner McKee over Pickett with the way that he played today. And as Jack mentioned, now a lot of pressure is going to start to build up here for Nick Sirianni with this playoff game. This is a make it or break it game for Nick. Every game pretty much until the Super Bowl could arguably be a make it or break it game for Nick Sirianni, which is kind of just crazy to think about, because he's one of the best, if not the best coach in Philadelphia Eagles history. He's got a 48-20 record right now. 48-20 in his career as the Philadelphia Eagles head coach. And we're talking about firing this guy. You forget about the collapse that they had at the end of last year with all those losses. I forget how many it was. They were talking about it on WIP. Shout out to Rob Ellis. It was like six of the last 7 or 6 of the last 8. Point being, 6 of the last 7. Thank you, Jack. So they lost 6 of their last 7, and he still is 48-20. Enough. I don't fucking care if the Eagles lose the first round game of the playoffs. I would still actually stand by Nick Sirianni and keep him. And if you would have said that to me in the beginning of the year, I would have said, no, you're insane. You're crazy. I don't think that that's going to happen. That's not going to happen, right? Knock on wood. Because I know the kind of coach that Nick is, and I know the kind of team that this team is and what they expect. But I think his job is even safe if that were to happen. The only way I could see Nick Sirianni losing his job is if he did something absolutely bonkers, absolutely stupid, absolutely crazy. So stay tuned. Broad, I'm sending you the link right now, my man. Jack, how you feel about it?
Yeah, I mean, granted, he's been head coach now. This is his 4th season, am I correct, or is it 5th season?
4th, right, KJ? 4th?
Fourth, yes, 4th, because he's made it all 4 years.
Yeah, so he's made it all 4 years, right? Okay.
Yeah.
But he made it to the Super Bowl 1 year. And, the past, like last year, obviously we had the collapse, and then we lost to the Buccaneers. But, yeah, I mean, I definitely think I like him. I wish, this isn't the conversation we're having. But, I mean, I really do think once if we – which we're winning the Super Bowl this year. But if we were to lose against the Packers, I think it's going to be a big question mark. Okay, should he get fired, or should we give him another year and see what he can do with us? So I mean, because he's had a really good season so far. I mean, we had that 10-2 record last year, and then just complete collapse. And then we had this year where we went 2-2, and then have won a game other than the second Commanders game nonstop. I mean, and we had a bye week 5, and we saw this team kind of after that bye really show up, and they legitimately, showed that they are a team worth reckoning for. And so it's just like, okay, I don't think this is going to happen, but it's always kind of hanging over his head because, it's Philadelphia. Everyone wants to blame the coach for a loss. They want to, have a torch and pitchfork going out like after him. So we'll see what happens. I mean, this is breaking news. And this is really brief, but the Patriots fired Gerard Mayo.
Yep.
Yeah. So
that fucking quick.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I actually reported that in the private chat first. Just
oh, you did? Oh, you?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah. So, I mean, I'm very surprised that happened. I granted they'd have a good season at all, but I would think he would have at least lasted another season. But yeah, definitely heat is going to be turned up in this postseason run for Nick Sirianni.
Wow. That's
there's going to be a carousel. There's going to be a carousel. It might either be today or tomorrow of coaches getting the boot for sure.
Wow. Get ready. Coaching carousel. Brian Bell. Would it be better if we said wah, 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 wah? There you go.
Yeah.
Anyway, but moving on to our next topic, Eagles are going to be hosting the Packers first round. And this is a big disadvantage. Looking at, I didn't get to see it because I was in the car, but listening to that Washington game, I heard that Washington got in the end zone at the end there. I think Jaden Daniels wasn't even playing. They mentioned, was it Marcus Mariota? I guess, who somehow got the Commanders in the end zone to win the game. And now, because of that, if the Commanders would have lost and the Packers would have lost, the Eagles actually would have hosted the Commanders, which would have been actually, I think, an advantage because the last time we played, we lost. So we're going to have a chip on our shoulder because the players have been listening to Washington fans, Washington players, Washington media, all talking about how they're a better organization and a better team. And we all know that's damn well not true. So I'm excited. I would have been excited, I should say, to host Washington and shut them all up. I'm still excited for this game, but the Packers are a cold weather team. Not that Washington isn't, but the Packers are a cold weather team. So they're able to, handle more than most teams. Not only that, I think that they're a more equipped team. They have a really good run game when you look at Jacobs and what he's brought on that front. So I don't know. And the last time we played the Packers, as we know, we won. So they're going to be the ones this time that have the chip on their shoulders and have been listening to Philly players, Philly media, Philly this, Philly that all year that have been chirping then. So I'm a little bit nervous about having to host Washington first round. Gentlemen, how are you guys feeling about it?
Yeah, I mean, this is definitely going to be a big game. I mean, I think now as kind of sitting on it, I definitely feel more confident in playing the Packers than I do the Commanders because the Commanders, they're on this hot streak right now, and I mean, so are the Packers. But I think we have a better chance to win against the Packers. I mean, yeah, Josh Jacobs is good. Yeah, Jordan Love's pretty good. I think he got injured today, didn't he, Josh?
Who?
Jordan Love.
He hurt his right elbow, but they said he's going to play. But they said Christian Watson's probably not.
Okay, yeah, because Christian Watson got carted off the field today, and Jordan Love didn't play the full game. He injured his elbow, so they said he'll play. But, I mean, they don't really have many other weapons other than Josh Jacobs. The receiving core, they have had a lot of drops this season, and I'm not too worried about it. No, I was talking about I had much rather feel.
Yeah, he didn't mean.
I think
yeah,
he was
didn't mean
talking to me. He was talking to me. I'm saying that's why I gave a
so-
thumbs up. I think he was talking to me. Mac,
Yeah.
how about you?
So I think go ahead, Mac.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be it's gonna be a really competitive matchup for sure. I would have liked to see us play Washington. That would have been a really cool matchup, especially after hearing their fans acting like they won the Super Bowl a couple weeks ago when they beat us by 3 points without our starting quarterback and Devontae Smith dropped the ball. So I think that would have been a really cool scenario. But at the same time, though, we get to see this team play the Packers at home, something that I remember if we kind of rewind a little bit, a lot of us were wanting them to play in Philly instead of São Paulo because we thought it wasn't going to be that good of a game. We didn't think the Eagles could get the win or whatever. They got the win in São Paulo in Brazil. And it's hard, as Dalton has said before, to beat a team twice. So that's going to be a really hard thing to do for us. But as Dalton said as well, though, we have a chip on our shoulder. I think we know the magnitude of this game. I think we know how important this game is. And hopefully Jalen can really try and just like silence a lot of the doubters and a lot of the people that are saying, oh, well, he's going to be rusty. Oh, well, he hasn't played since the Washington game, half of the Washington game. He's got to silence a lot of haters, and it's a lot of pressure, especially to come back at home in the freezing cold against a team that is known for playing in the cold and doing okay in the cold in the frozen tundra of Green Bay in the Packers. So that's going to be a really interesting matchup. It could go either way. We could be screaming at our TVs and going insane, or we could honestly just be happy and go on to the next game. But it's going to be a very I feel like it's going to be a very not lopsided, but it's going to be either this or that. That's how it really is with me. I don't think it's going to be like a blowout game of any sort, but it's going to be to the wire wherever it goes. It's going to be
a dog fight. Yeah,
dog
it's going to be a dog fight,
Exactly.
pissing match, whatever you want to say, right, Jack? I mean, we have a couple of terms for that one, but it's going to be a great game. And if it snows, oh my God. I know that some people want it to snow. Some people don't want it to snow just because, travel, work, whatever it may be, right? If it does end up snowing, that's going to be an absolute grudge match between Saquon and Josh Jacobs for who's going to run it. That may be one of the last snowy playoff games you may ever see. Regardless, it's going to be a cold weather game. I mean, it's going to be cold. So it would have been nice to, have a team like San Francisco coming all dilapidated in here to be able to beat up on them. But Green Bay's good. I really would have rather taken Washington over Green Bay. But let's get into our final segment here, guys. So we have a couple of call-ins backstage waiting. Let's first get to the one who's been waiting and dealt with a lot of pain. So we might as well let him go first. I'm talking about our favorite Giants fan, Mikey D. How you doing?
What's up, gentlemen?
What up?
How are ya?
How do you like that gear, Jack?
It looks good, Mike.
Oh, suck it, Irish. You better suck it there, laddies.
So,
Just
Mike,
got it. Just got it for Christmas, boys.
it looks great. You're a diehard Giants fan. What was that game like watching today?
See, I didn't know whether to feel good about it or be in absolute pain because I don't know what this team is. I don't know what this team does anymore. I don't even know how this team teams. I don't get anything they do anymore. I mean, do we want to win? But also then again, are we going to get the first draft pick, which I don't even think we have. I think the Titans or the Browns do.
You have fourth pick overall now.
4th overall pick, Mike.
Wait, we have 4th?
Yeah, now.
But the Patriots won today, which I actually just found out from you guys that they fired Gerard Mayo, which is crazy.
Yeah, Gerard Mayo's done.
Mikey D, are you in a subway right now, brother?
Yeah, dude, I was out getting dinner, man, and then KJ called me and he said, "Well, dude, you're gonna be on the show in any minute." So I panicked. I had to run somewhere, and then I came in here. I'm actually at Walmart right now, so.
Oh, this is Walmart.
Hey, Walmart and Subway are getting their free ad. Eat fresh and live better. I love it, Mikey D.
But anyways, yeah, I mean, but going back to the game, though, I mean, my Giants, I just don't know what we do. I mean, Malik Neighbors looks great. I think he could be our next big guy, but now we need a quarterback in the draft. I mean, who do we take? I mean, I need your help on this. Would you rather Shador or would you rather Cam Ward? Or maybe even like a
it's in his blood.
No, I would go with Cam Ward. I don't think Shador Sanders is going to be a good quarterback. I think he will try be a quarterback for a little bit, but then kind of get transitioned into a running back. I think his name is Denard Robinson. This guy played for the Michigan Wolverines.
Yep.
Like what?
Yep.
8 years ago, and he was a quarterback, and then he transitioned to a receiver or running back in the NFL.
Jaguars.
Yeah, he was also. Yeah, I remember him. He was also on the cover of NCAA football once.
Yeah, so I don't think. I mean, I think you have a better chance. I mean, there's not that many big name quarterbacks in this league, and I think your best bet is Cam Ward, honestly.
Yeah, I don't think Shador is going to be that good of an NFL quarterback. I agree with that. I think he is going to be like a comparison of Denard Robinson as well. I think a lot of the hype with Shador, he's very flashy. He's kind of like his dad. I mean, like they kind of let their game do the talking, but also like they're very flashy and they have every right to do that. The thing with them though is like they are always like in the spotlight. And I think it's almost like if you compare it to another sport as well, it's kind of like the hype of like when Lonzo Ball was coming in. It's kind of like that if you compare it a little bit like that, but it's with football. So I feel like a lot of spotlight, like he's destined to be a good player. So that's what I feel like it is. But you know what, though? There's a lot of players that are destined to be good NFL players, but they don't become good NFL players. Tim Tebow, Johnny Manziel. There's a lot. I can go on for ages. I bet you Mike and D can go on for ages. But it's just sometimes they don't transition over to the NFL that well.
First off, what you said about Lonzo Ball, my good buddy Rome, he's still on the Lonzo Ball hype train. So, I mean, he follows Lonzo.
God bless him.
But you know what, though, with the Giants, though, it's like, watch us take Shador, and then watch us take Shiloh, and then watch us fire Brian Dable and make Dion the head coach. Like, it's that kind of attention thing. Like, how teams want attention. I feel like we'd want that attention because we're from a big, flashy city like New York. And, yeah, I mean, why not bring prime time to the bright lights of New York City? Why not? But then again, I don't even think it makes a difference who we draft, either Cam Ward or Shador, because we still don't have an O-line.
So wait, Mike, summed up, because I got 2 more minutes for you, and then we got to get to our next guest. What would you do if you were the GM of the Giants right now? Who would you pull the trigger on to fix your team?
Well, first off, if I was Joe Shane, I would fire myself and then bring in another GM. But no, seriously, if I was my own general manager, I would draft Cam Ward. I mean, Mason Graham, the old lineman from Michigan, he would have been nice, but I know he's not going to us. He's going to a team like the Titans or Jags because they need that more than us. Then I have been saying this for 5 seasons now, since Gettleman, since Shane, everything. Draft your QB in the first round. That isn't, hopefully he's not Daniel Jones. Oh God, I hope he isn't. And then use the rest of your draft to draft either O-line or defenseman. I have been saying this for 5 seasons now, and they still haven't done it. Why? What's the problem?
That's like us with the Eagles trying to draft a linebacker in the first round. We never do it. Right, Jack?
Yeah.
Actually, I got
does not count because he's second round.
I got a bold statement there, actually.
Yeah.
But I think the Cowboys draft Genty and the Eagles trade up to draft Abdul Carter.
Oh, yes, Abdul.
I like the second part of that. The first part of that, I'm sitting here like I don't want to hear that. You know what I mean? Like that
Genty
would be.
has Cowboy written all over him.
He does. And Jerry Jones is salivating at the mouth, just waiting to draft him because he loves running backs that can do it all. So he's going to be, he's coming home, KJ. Get ready. I don't give a shit if you don't like it. You're going to learn how to like it. Eat your vegetables now, Mac.
You're going to like
it. You know what you need to do, Mikey D, as a GM, if you were the GM? I would get not a big name quarterback because I have this theory. I have this theory that all these big name, quarterbacks in college from Alabama, Ohio State, you name it, all the big schools,
Michigan,
the quarterbacks don't really pan out in the NFL at all. So, why not get Carson Bass is going to be a bum. Dylan Gabriel's going to be a bum. Quinn Ewers is going to be a bum. Why not get Jackson Dart? Jackson Dart is not I know he's a big name, but he's not that big of a name because, you need somebody like that.
What about there's actually a quarterback that isn't really overhyped as much. And weirdly enough, he's from Alabama. So, Jack, I kind of want
Jalen Milroe.
What about Jalen Milroe?
So I personally think that he's going to be the same kind of player as Shador Sanders because if you've seen his games, he's not really a good deep ball route thrower at all. He likes kind of running with the ball a lot, so I can see him maybe wildcat offense or be a running back because he's a big body. He is a big muscular body.
But then again, the whole thing now is that quarterbacks can run. So
yeah,
Lamar.
You need a quarterback that is that is semi-mobile, but can throw the deep ball. You need somebody like that.
Right. So not Daniel Jones, Mikey D.
Correct.
No, Correct. No, he's gone. He's gone. We forgot about him. He is done. He's done.
He'll always be on your shoulder. He'll always be saying, Mikey D, I love you, man. I love New York.
I wish that was Saquon Barkley, but then again, we never did the draft right. We sat there for 5 seasons, gave him nothing. Then we basically said, screw you, we're not paying you anything. And then look at the result.
Yeah, there you go. A picture's worth 1,000 words, right? That one is definitely worth maybe 2,000. Mike, I appreciate you for joining us as our honorary and favorite Giants fan. Please let the people know where they can give you a follow.
Yes, follow me on TikTok and Instagram at @PlayByPlayMikeyD. I post a lot about the Giants, the Yankees, Penn State, and I'll have more content coming for you in the next few months or so.
And especially this week with Penn State.
Go Irish. Go Irish.
You got anything
Go
to say to
Irish.
Jack? Got anything to say to Jack?
What?
Go ahead.
No, do you have anything to say to Jack about the Irish, about Notre Dame?
See, I'm worried about this game against Notre Dame. Like, Notre Dame's been balling recently, but I still hope the Irish go down because I've been waiting for this moment my whole life.
So wait, can we get a fuck the Irish?
Screw the Irish.
All right, I'll take it.
I'll take it.
That's pretty good. Let's go. Thank you, Mikey. We
See you, Mikey
appreciate
D.
you, brother.
Mikey Subway.
All right, next up
That was
joining us is another friend of 302 Birds. You guys know the guy, Broad Street Sports. How you doing? You were at the game today.
Oh yeah. I was there. It was cold. It was just, I mean, I don't know. It got inside the stadium. It was real nice, but outside, I mean, I couldn't feel my feet, couldn't feel my fingertips. It was cold out there. One of the coldest times I can remember.
You got a little bit of hypothermia, cuz?
No. I got a lot of thermal heat, so I can bounce back from that. But
Yeah.
But I mean, other than that, it was legitimately cold. Like I was like, what in the hell am I doing with my life out here?
It looked like you were getting some good interview content
No,
as well.
I was. I got a couple guys out there that some good interviews. They were just like, I mean, some of them, some crackheads, but that's what makes the interviews worth it. It's exactly what makes the interviews worth it.
There's always a good crackhead out there.
Speaking like a true veteran on that one.
Right. Well, no, inside the stadium, so the section next to where me and my friend were sitting, a couple crackheads over there. I got a picture of one. I got a picture of one of them. I'm posted online on my Instagram tonight, so you'll be able to see that. I mean, it was the guy. He's nuts. The guy was crazy. The whole day he's standing on his seat, waving his jersey around, and he has like an Eagles hat, but it's not like a normal. It has like dreads coming out of it, like green and white. And I'm like, dude,
I've seen that
right here. Yeah, and he's got like the Eagles chains on. I'm like, dude, this guy's a crackhead.
Wait. Is he painted up? Is he painted up his face?
I've seen
that. No. Like he wasn't painted up.
I thought it was Eagle Demon.
No, it was just I don't know, but it was like a normal guy that was just with like the Eagles, like a fake Eagles dreads coming down, and he's like out there with a bunch of Eagles chains on and waving his shirt around, screaming EAGLEs, Eagle. The whole day he's just doing this, and I was like, I need a picture with this guy. I got a picture with Crackhead Santa.
Santa.
Hey, that's Santa Rick. Leave Santa Rick alone. We love Santa Rick.
And I got a picture with Jim McMahon. I think that's what his name is. I don't even know.
Chris
Nady.
That's our
long hair guy.
Yeah. Looks like Gardner Minshew. He was out there.
Yeah.
Yes, I called him that a couple times, but
yeah.
He's Jim McMahon though.
I got a picture with him. So all around, I mean, good day. Inside the stadium, it was nice and warm. Felt like I was down the shore. But when I got outside of the stadium, it was just absolutely, I mean, it was freezing out. Absolutely.
I believe it. You got to get some of those toe warmers. You ever seen those, like the hand warmers, but the toe warmers, they help out your feet.
I've seen them. I've seen them. They're coming out with a bunch of stuff. Anything to make money, these people. Anything.
How was the atmosphere today? Because I saw a couple of E-Rock's videos. Shout out to E-Rock. If you guys don't follow him, one of the best, if not the best, Eagles influencer. He's definitely set the bar. Been doing it, I think, since at least 2005. I know some of his content, but he posted a video this morning around 8 a.m. or 9 a.m. and it looked pretty dead. What time did you get around there, and how was the atmosphere today?
So me and my friend left at 8 o'clock, And when we got there, it was kind of what you would expect for like that early. But then, like, as the time went on, you expect the parking lot to be filled. You expect everybody to be out there. There was barely anybody. And I posted the clip when I was like, I'm going to go out and start filming people. I know you've seen the thought. And it was like, my friend panned around with the lot and there was nobody was there.
Yeah, it looked like a ghost town.
Yeah, I was like, I've never seen that
especially
before.
for an Eagles game.
Right, like I've never seen that
because Saquon's record wasn't a thing. It's because like
right, yeah.
There was even a part where I was watching the game and there was a little girl and her family, and the sign said, I drove 1,000 miles away just to see Saquon break the record. I don't know if you saw that sign or not, but somebody
awesome. Send me that. We're posting that right now.
No, it's online
on
somewhere. I've seen that online. Yeah,
it's online. It actually was a thing. And then also, did you see the guy with the Barney head?
Now somebody in my section was saying that, but I personally did not see it. But somebody in my section was saying
mascot head on. I don't know why.
No. But inside the stadium, for basically, if you want to say like a preseason game, the energy was nice. Like everybody, everybody was having a good time and was hanging out and good vibes. Like I don't think people were like focused on the football game itself. They were just there to have a good time, drink, hang out, and just have a good time. Like next week, people are going to be locked in on the game, be nuts. But this week, it was a preseason game. Got to watch the next Tom Brady, Tanner McKee go nuts out there. So,
we'll see what happens.
Yeah, so, it was just good vibes. Everybody was having the energy. Energy was very nice in the stadium. And for the most part, out in the tailgate when you actually did see people and people having a good time. But then, the energy was nice. Xfinity Live was pretty packed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and hear me out. I think what we kind of obvious. I think we would have seen a lot more people at that game had Saquon Barkley been playing, because I really think that kind of rubbed people the wrong way. And it's like, okay, well, there's gonna be a big snowstorm tomorrow, so like, I really don't want to get like that intoxicated at a game, drive, and not really see anything exciting happening. So that's probably why you didn't see that many people, in attendance.
I've stated it before. I think they should have played Saquon, but in all seriousness and trying to keep everybody healthy, trying to win a Super Bowl, the way that they did it, the way that they played the game, this was the best way to just go about it.
Yeah,
get ready for postseason. Just like outside of what I want to see happen, this was for the betterment of the team.
Well, there it is. There's the photo.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah,
that's
Thank
it.
you to Shardy from our Phillies post-game show for sending that here. Jack, can you make me, or somebody make me full screen? You guys know how here. Go like this, and then you just click this button here. But that is amazing. If I could buy you a beer or 2 beers or 16,000 beers, I would, because that is the best thing. Every fan should be doing this right now. Shame the team. Shame them. And look, I get the whole point about health and this and that and all these things. But when you look at moral, attitude, locker room morale, I'm worried. If the Eagles end up having a case where they lose early in the playoffs, you better fucking believe I am going to use this and take it and run with it as an excuse. Because, look, if Saquon Barkley didn't look so upset about it in his interview, I really wouldn't care as much. It was the fact that he did. Look, your body language is 70% of communication. And even though he was saying a different thing, you looked at his face and he clearly wanted to go for the record. So I don't know. I didn't personally agree with that decision. Today, I hope that more Eagles fans would have boycotted the team, for lack of a better term, and not spent their money on tickets, just because it's like, what do we have to watch? No disrespect to Tanner McKee, Anais Smith, EJ Jenkins, all the players that had a great game today. But as an Eagles fan, that's not the product that you're paying for. So a lot of fans paid to see Saquon Barkley break the record on his old team. Could you imagine what that storyline would be like today if we were talking about that on this show? How much would be laughing in their face?
It would be insane. But I'll say one thing, too. Shard actually brought this up, and I was about to bring it up, but he actually brought it up right before I did. He brings up a really good point, because I don't know if you guys saw, Zay Flowers I don't know how bad I didn't see the play, but I don't know how bad the injury is. But I heard that he apparently is going to be out for maybe the next game for the Ravens or not. I don't know if that's true or not. But also Christian Watson got hurt too. So that's like the thing that you think about too. Like playing these guys, these extra games, it kind of puts them at risk. It really does. As much as we want to see history happen, I also, as much as I want to see it happen, I don't want Saquon to get injured because the thing is with Saquon, though, one of the main things with him and one of the main things Giants fans were like, oh, good luck with Saquon. He is like as fragile as an iPhone without a case. He's going to be so fragile. Like, I heard that a bunch in the offseason, and that's all they were saying. So to not see him get injured at all this season was great because that was a little bit of a fear for me because I know when he's healthy, he's one of the best. He's the best running back in the league by far. So that's the main thing with him. And I think with him not getting that record, I mean, it obviously puts some questions up, and you obviously have people like Dalton being mad and some other people being like, why the heck are they doing this? But I think if you think about it, though, it was the right decision. And the Eagles, I mean, maybe you could have played him the first half. I would have been fine with that. But, dude, if he got some crazy injury, though, we would have also been going at Nick Sirianni at his head right now. And we'd be saying, get your ass out of here, get fired. What were they thinking of playing Saquon? That's what you would be saying. I know for sure, Dalton, you'd be saying that. Like,
oh, it's a lose-lose. That's what I'm thinking in the back of my head as you're saying it. Because you either lose the respect of your players because you don't let them go for a record. And if you don't win the Super Bowl, no matter what, like, let's be honest, I would. If they don't win the Super Bowl and Saquon stays healthy, the storyline is going to be, why didn't Nick Sirianni or the team or whoever let me go for this record when it was in reach? Because hypothetically, that's the second best thing that you can get out of this season is a record. So yeah, Shard hit the nail on the head. We're bipolar as hell. It's a lose-lose for the team.
That's what I was trying
to. They're just trying to do the right thing.
We are.
And ultimately, at the end of the day, they picked the right decision, business-wise, risk-wise, all of it. Yeah. They did the right thing. I want to be clear about that. But I'm a little bit concerned because it seemed like Saquon Barkley still hadn't came to terms with it by the time that he was being interviewed by, I think it was Devin Caney for 94 WIP. And it's like, dude, you got to be, I don't know. You just need to be more in tune with it as a team because now as the media, if we see something, we're going to run with it. And I hate to say it like that, but I'm not the only one. And I heard a lot of people on WIP talking about it, fans. As soon as I saw it, I went, okay, he's not crazy about this. So we'll see. I hope that this doesn't even become a thing, 2 months from now, because if they win the Super Bowl, this won't be a discussion anymore. What were you going to say, Broad? Sorry.
Well, that's going to be the talk of the week is one. Well, I've even said this. You've seen in recent times that Jalen Hurts has had a hard time playing after he's had some time off. You know, he's rusty, which, I mean, you would expect. Yeah. But come postseason time, you can't have rust. You can't have it. You can't get off to a slow start like you did the first 13 weeks of the season. You can't get off. You have to be able to score like that. You have to be ready to go. And the fact Jalen Hurts hasn't played in 2 weeks, 3 weeks now. Saquon Barkley hasn't played, didn't play today. I'm not saying that this is like a major issue per se, but I'm saying that that's something you have to watch out for because this team has shown flashes of not starting hot when they have to. In the postseason, you have to start hot, and I think another storyline is, and I've heard WIP talk about this, and I've talked about this with my interviews today. If the Eagles lose first round, I think they're coming for Nick Sirianni's job.
Oh, for sure.
That's the storyline. That's what it's going to be, and they're kind of in a tough position because they did come out of they were in a total bad spot week 5 during the bye week. They came out at they're 14-3, but I don't know. They're in it. You have to come out hot. I'm expecting them to not play so well. I'm expecting there to be a lot of rust. And if they lose, Nick Sirianni better be ready because there's a real chance, a real possibility that this man gets fired. And it's not and people are going to say, well, He should not be fired because the fact, he's gotten to the postseason every year he's been a head coach. Well, no shit. Look at the team that he's had every single year. I mean, give me a break. I could go out there right now with a Madden playbook and go to the postseason. I mean, you could put a little league coach out there. So what makes okay coaches different from like the Sean McVays, the Andy Reids, the Sean McDermotts is that they can, when their team has rest, they know how to make personnel. They know how to make changes. They know how to adjust. They know how to get their team into the right position and everything would be fine. And they also know how to, I don't know. I just drew a blank on what I was going to say, but they also know how to just put their team in the right position and out-coach people. And Nick Sirianni's not going to do that. So if they lose first round, Sirianni, serious conversations have to be made about him. I think you could see him going. But this rust is just not – I don't know. I think – I'm not worried. I'm not saying I'm worried, but I think it's in the back of my mind that there could be some serious problems come next weekend.
Yeah, I mean, you're totally right with the whole Russ situation. I was talking to Dalton about it too. Jalen not playing for the last couple weeks is kind of like something that is kind of in the back of my head right now because he could be rusty. We've seen him be a little rusty at times. He's had a good season for the most part, but I mean, he could be in his head a bunch. And honestly, I mean, he had a head injury. So that's the main thing. Hopefully it's nothing that's serious where it kind of actually decreases his game or kind of makes him fall off a little bit. But I think it is a factor for sure. And the Packers have showed in the past that they can get hot in the playoffs. They got hot last year in the playoffs in the postseason. They played I think they played the Niners in the NFC Championship, if I'm not mistaken, but they did. So yeah, I think there's a lot of factors with this. And if the Eagles do lose this, I think you're exactly right. I think people are going to be going at Nick Sirianni, but I don't feel like it's really his fault. I really don't. I think it might, of anything, it might be on Jalen's shoulders. And I think it might be of like the injury that he had or just the rust factor as well. And then you're going to have people be saying like, oh, well, he should have played today. He should have played against the Giants today to get the rust out of the way. So he's not rusty during the Packers game. So, I mean, there's just going to be a lot of the media is going to eat this up no matter what happens. And it's going to be a mesh of like a ball of just like destruction, I feel like.
Yeah. Well, what upsets me, and I wouldn't say upset, but what worries me the most is that we've seen guys get hurt and they're back like that. Like they get hurt, they're back, and they're not 100%, but they're almost there. What worries me the most about all of this is the fact that he has not practiced, and since he got hurt, he hasn't been on the field. He hasn't done anything. If you look at the list of who did not practice, who was limited, Jalen Hurts' own did not practice for 2.5 weeks now. So that's what worries me the most. Now, I did see a report, I think, from ESP. He said that he did walkthrough or whatever. Yeah. But that doesn't make me at peace in my heart. You know what I mean? Yeah. That doesn't make
me anyone at peace.
No. So the fact, I mean, rust is a serious issue. But the fact he has not played and has not practiced in 2.5, 3 weeks, that's a major concern. And that makes me question how bad of an injury it actually was.
Well, do you think they're hiding something from us, like how some organizations?
No, I think what happened. I forget what game it was. I think it may have been the Panthers game. He got hit pretty hard and hit his head, and the next few plays after that, he was not making his completions. He was throwing short of receivers. So I think it's just underlying from that game to what happened against the Commanders. So I think he's been struggling with this for months now. I don't think it's just, okay, that one injury he had against the Commanders, that's what did it. I think it was he's had many concussions, as everyone does, and it just got worse and worse. So I truly think that's what the case may be.
Right. And I mean, if you get hit in the head like that in football, no matter what it is, you're going to be banged up. But from that, you're taught from a young age when you start playing, be a man, get back up. Doesn't matter. Rub dirt on it. Be a man and just play. So like when and especially when NFL is all about cha-ching, all about money, all about ratings, all about however much money they can just suck in from people. You want your stars have to play. And as Jalen Hurts is a star in most people's eyes and cases, he's a star. And he has to play for the organization, for the league. And I mean, as much as he may have been hurting, I know he had that injury with his hand at one point. He has to play. And then obviously Washington was just absolute nail in the coffin. And now he's going to pay the consequence of not saying that he was hurt, not saying what was wrong. So, I mean, we're going to see. I'm not trying to overreact here. I'm trying to stay positive. 14-3. I think we can not easily, but I think we can win a Super Bowl. But this is going to really fall on if Jalen Hurts can bounce back, Jalen Hurts can play. And that's what it is.
Wrapping up with our last question here, just because we're starting to get towards the end of the show. Ryan, I want to thank you as always for joining us. Of course, but what is your expectation for this team? Like, where would you say Nick Sirianni's job is safe? Where's that red line in the playoffs? NFC Championship win, NFC Championship loss, divisional win, divisional loss. Where do you draw the line in the sand that it's like, all right, it's okay for me to have this guy back next year? With a 48-20 record, it's crazy to say that because I was thinking about that as well. But you're right. I mean, he's got to get over the hump. So you're not wrong to say it. Where do you draw a line in the sand? Super Bowl?
I would love to say Super Bowl. Like I would love to say it, but in all seriousness and reality, it's the NFC Championship game. Now, whether they win it or lose it, I would say his job is safe. If they go to the Super Bowl, whether they win it or lose it, hopefully they win it. But I would say his job would be safe if they go to the Super Bowl. But I would say that it would be on icy water if it was if they lost the NFC Championship game, right? I would say it's on, even though they went there, I would say it'd be like 50-50. He's skating. He's being held on by a water raft right now. You know what I mean? He's trying to keep his head above water. So I'm saying the NFC Championship game is the bar. Whether if he wins it, I think he's going to stay here next year. But if he loses, I think there's serious conversations being made. If he loses first round, he's gone. I would say 90% he's gone. Divisional round, I would say he's most likely gone. But then when you get to the NFC Championship game is when you're like, okay, you have to see you have to look at it. But if we lose the NFC Championship game, you have all these Philly Nimrods that are going to say, oh my God, this is why we should have played Saquon Barkley. No shit. You're going to say that no matter what. So you're going to say no matter what. But
I love the way this guy thinks.
I'm going to say,
I'm one of them.
I'm one of these guys too. I'm going to be pissed off no matter what. I'm going to say, well, if we lose the Super Bowl, we lose the NFC Championship game, whatever it is, at least we have the fact to look back on and say, well, my God, we had potentially one of the best running back season ever performed. But now we don't have it. We've lost the Super Bowl. We've lost the NFC Championship game. And we don't even have a record. What the hell was the point of the season? And we're going to lose our head coach potentially. I don't know. But I know how Philly fans think. I know how we work. I know how we react. So this is exactly what the conversation is going to be throughout the next couple weeks. But I would say the bar where he needs to be is NFC Championship game.
Stay tuned for it, fans. Get ready. If you guys haven't, please be sure to like, comment, subscribe. All those little things mean a ton and help us out a bunch. My name is Dalton. This is Jack from our Eagles postgame show. You guys know KJ McCoy joining us, of course, hosting us from our main show. And also want to tell you guys to give Broad Street Sports a follow on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. I got that right, my man?
Oh, yeah, you know it. We got a lot of good content coming out soon, especially with those interviews from the night.
Stay tuned. I'm hyped to see them. So get ready for it.
Crackheads equal good content, my man.
That's what it is. They're just sitting there. I have one. And I don't like to talk bad about people, but I got one. The guy's got the joint in his hand. He's He's sitting there like passing a joint from each hand. Yeah, I'm like, what?
He's
sitting there
passing
with
it
my
to himself back and forth.
I'm sitting there on my mic. And I'm like
One-man
watching
rotation.
this. Yeah, I'm watching this guy's hand. I'm like, dude, he's actually just passing it back and forth.
Oh, jeez. Snoop Dogg would be
Sounds-
proud.
Sounds like you got some great content. But please, guys, make sure to give Broad Street Sports a follow to see that content. This guy's been rocking out with us for a couple of months now, and we love what he's building over there. So please, if you love us, you love him, give him a follow. That's all we got. Jackson, take us away, and we'll see you next week for hopefully a wild card win.
Yes, for sure. Go Birds, 14-3 season. We're playing the Packers next week at home. I think we're going to win this game. Without further ado.
Hey, Zep.
Hey, Zep.
Zep.
Hey, Zep.
Hey,
It's
Zep.
an outro, not an intro. Hit that motherfucking outro.
This is for you.
Hey, what's up, 302 Birds? I'm Jack.
All roads lead through the playoffs and Phil.